In today's video, I'll teach you how to crochet this beautiful Baby Yoda keychain. It's a very simple and easy pattern to be done and very fast as well. So yeah, come with me. I'm really sure you will love to crochet this cutie. So to create our beautiful Baby Yoda in a keychain, all we need is, of course, the keychain, because we have to attach it, tapestry needle, stitch markers. You know that this is my favorite. I already separated the one that I'm going to use. A pair of scissors. Look how beautiful this one is. I'm in love with the scissors. The yarn that I use is this one, DMC Natura, just cotton. This is 100% cotton yarn. Looks a bit messy, but yeah, this is the yarn that I'm using. I can leave the number of the color in the description so you can check it later. And this yarn here is Alba. I will also leave the link for this yarn in the description, but this is just used for the blush part. You can use any kind of pink yarn that you have at home. The crochet hook that I'm using is this 2.2 millimeter size from Tulip, which you know is my favorite. So that's it. Let's get it started. So we start with 8 single crochets inside the magic ring. So I finish the magic ring and we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 single crochets inside the magic ring. Pull the thread to close it. And this is our round number 1. Round 2, we make 8 increases. So this is my first stitch. I make 1 single crochet, another single crochet on top of it. Oops. And this is my first increase. So now I take the stitch marker and place it here, the first stitch of the increase. If you're new here in the channel, I have to tell you this because it's important. I always place the stitch marker on the first stitch of the round. There are some people who prefer to do it in the last, but I prefer to mark the first stitch of the round. It's just a matter of habit. So I will continue making increases. 8 increases to end up with 16 single crochets. So I finished round number 2 and I have 16 single crochets in this round. You see that the magic ring opened up a little bit. This is something that I don't like, and whenever it happens, I just pull the thread a bit harder, and you see now it's very, very tight, so stuffing won't come out of it. Good. Round number 3, we make 2 increases and 2 single crochets, and we repeat the sequence 4 times, okay? So let me, the yarn is split a little bit, but I grabbed it correctly. So 2 increases. Let me do the first one and mark with the stitch marker so we won't get lost. Okay, second increase. Two single crochets. So this is the sequence that you have to do in round number 3. You repeat the sequence 4 times and you end up with 24 single crochets, okay? So I will keep making the sequence and I will come back when I finish round number 3. So I finished round number 3 and we have 24 single crochets in this round. Round number 4, we will make 1 single crochet, place the stitch marker, and now we make 2 increases. So 1 increase, second increase. My stitches are really tight, as you can see. It's important to keep the shape, you will see. So I made 1 single crochet, 2 increases, and now I will do 4 single crochets, 2 increases 3 times, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 increases. First increase, second increase. Four single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 increases, four single crochets. This is the 3rd time I'm doing it. 1, 2, 3, 4. First increase, second increase, and we have 3 single crochets left, so you just complete the round with 3 single crochets, 2 and 3. You see that we already have like a square shape here. It's not round. There is another video, actually there are a couple of videos here in the channel where I teach how to make a perfect square head. There are lots of videos, tips, and I always give lots of tips regarding this shape because I know people have questions about this. I will leave the link for all of these videos here in the description so you can check it later. And there is another video in which I crochet a small head for an Amigurumi base doll, and if you have never done that before, I totally recommend you check this video because in this other video I give all the tips on how to crochet the corners correctly and how to preserve the shape of the Amigurumi, all the stuff. So this video is like super important in case it's your first square shape, okay? But you can see that now we have what we want, the shape that we want. We ended this round with 32 single crochets, and now from round 5 to round 12 we just repeat the sequence, okay? So we have to crochet 8 rounds with 32 single crochets. I will crochet the first one with you just to give a heads up on the tips that I mentioned that I already give in the other videos. Sorry, I get confused sometimes when I'm crocheting and speaking at the same time. But yeah, I will crochet this round with you just to explain some details. And as I said, you can check the other videos here in the channel as well. So you just repeat the sequence, crocheting 32 single crochets in each round. You see that my stitches are tight, and this is important for a couple of reasons, okay? First of all, you have a more professional look in your amigurumis when you don't see holes, like gaps between stitches. They will look prettier. You see that I crochet with yarn under technique. This is my favorite technique because stitches are usually tighter when you crochet with yarn under. But if you want to crochet with yarn over or the V shape, it's totally fine and it will work. It's a bit different, but it will work. And in the first video that I made giving tips for the square head, I showed an example because I crocheted an entire square head with a V shape and I proved that it works. Okay, so don't worry if this is your style, you can keep your stitch the way that you like. Just keep in mind that the stitches have to be tied. And the main reason why I'm crocheting this round with you, it's not like a chit chat, is because I want to get to the corners and highlight some important details here. The corners of the square head is where we have two increases together. So you can see that this is one increase, there are two stitches. This is another increase, there are two stitches. So this is the corner of the square shape. When you crochet this part, you must be sure that your stitches are even tighter, because if it's not, you'll have like, and I'm forcing it to explain, instead of bending the corners to create the square shape, you keep it rounded and it will not have the result that we are looking for. So it's really, really important to keep it tight, okay? I think you got the idea. I would just keep crocheting this round and all the others, because as I said, you have to repeat the sequence for 8 rounds. And then I'll come back like to place the eyes, finish the square head, and also give the tips on how to stuff it. Don't stuff the amigurumi because this is something super important. Oh my god, I always say it. I sound like a broken record sometimes, but stuffing the amigurumi correctly is super important. Okay, so I still haven't finished. There is one stitch left, but that's okay. You can reshape it with your hands. We will adjust everything when I have all the rounds crocheted. I will keep doing it and I will come back. So I finished here the 8 continuous rounds. Let's count it together. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 rounds and we have 32 single crochets here. So now on round 13 we'll start decreasing, and again I will decrease this round with you because there are some secrets in the decrease that we must pay attention. So in this round we will make 1 single crochet. As I always do, I place the stitch marker in the first stitch of the round, and now I will make 2 decreases. If you observe here, this is the increase. It's lined up with the next 2 stitches that I have to decrease. Make sure that your stitches are tighter in the corners. The rule that the tip that I gave you here for the increases also applies for the decreases, okay? The increases are here. If we go up, 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 2 stitches here, they belong to this increase part here. So now decrease. Always make sure that this loop here that we call the golden loop is tied in the crochet hook. You don't want this large. Let me show you. Let me give you an example. This loop controls the height, the height of the stitch. If you do it like this, your stitch will be loose. If you keep it tight in the crochet hook, then you have your stitches tighter. So That's what you have to do. Okay, so I made 1 single crochet, 2 decreases. That's what you have to do in the corners, okay? So the sequence is 4 single crochets, 2 decrease here in the corner, 4 single crochets, 2 in the corner, 4, 2 decrease, and then we complete the round. But I will continue crocheting and I will come back in the last corner here. You see, it's a square shape. So 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets, decrease. Look at the increase here. If you go up, we have 2 stitches lined up with the increases. So now 1 decrease and second decrease. Okay, so remember 4 decrease, 4 decrease, and then we complete the round. I will keep doing it and I will come back. So I did the last 2 decreases here. There are 3 stitches left. So as I said before, you just complete the round with single crochets. Okay? And then we have 24 single crochets in this round. You see that by tightening the stitches in the corners, you preserve the square shape. Look how beautiful it is. It's very tiny. And you still have the square shape that we want. So now we stop crocheting for a bit because we are going to insert the safety eyes. I have these ones here, 8mm size, and honestly these are the smallest that I have, so that's why I'm using them. You should insert the eyes between rounds 9 and 10. So let's count the rounds together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So is this round here? How do I do that? Some people already asked me that question. How do I measure exactly the same place? Usually, I like to keep the stitch marker at the back of the amigurumi. So if the stitch marker is in this side, this will be the front of my amigurumi. This is not a rule, this is simply how I like to do it, okay? And since it's a square shape, it has sides, okay? So this is one side, this is another side. And I want the eyes here in the front part, of course. It cannot be like in the corner because it will be weird. So first, I try to open the stitches using the same crochet hook that I'm crocheting, just to measure if the distance is okay. I already crocheted this pattern before, of course, because I had to test it. This is not my first attempt, but I do not have the other amigurumi here with me, so I can show it to you right now because I already gave it to someone as a gift. And the idea is that we place the eyes between rounds 9 and 10 and have 4 stitches apart from each other, okay? But I will measure if this distance is okay now. So I open the stitches here. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches apart. Since it's a small crochet hook, like 2.2mm, it will not open that much, so I always like to use other accessories to open the stitches. I have this accessory here, it's from a Brazilian brand. They develop some interesting accessories for amigurumis. You see, it's very nice to open the stitches, but if this kind of equipment is not available for you, you can also try a bigger crochet hook size, for example. So observe my 2.2 with this one, 4.5mm. If you insert this crochet hook here, it's even a bit difficult because my stitches are tight and the cotton yarn is not very flexible. yeah, it opens the stitches and it makes it easier to insert the safety eyes. Okay, like this. That's how I usually do it. Okay, I think these eyes are a bit bigger than I wanted, but as I said, I only have this size. I wish I had like a 6. I don't think I have ever used a smaller size than this, but that's okay. When I have to open this one as well. So I will keep doing it and I will come back when I have the eyes already placed. Okay guys, so I finished like placing the eyes. I put them like right here in the edge of the corners, and they are placed, as I said, between rounds 9 and 10, and I have 4 stitches apart from each other, which is exactly what I wanted. So let's put the safety locks in the amigurumi. Okay, so let's continue decreasing. So next round, round number 14, we'll make 2 decreases and 2 single crochets 4 times. Okay, so let me do the first decrease here. Mark with the stitch marker. Now make the second decrease. And 2 single crochets. So this is the sequence that you have to do in this round number 14. 2 decreases, 2 single crochets. I will keep decreasing here and I will come back when I finish. Just make sure, again, and I know I'm repeating this a lot, but make sure that your decreases are very tight in order to keep the corners of your square. Look how cute and how tiny it is. It's super beautiful, right? There's only 1 round left for us to finish, but of course we have to start stuffing. I will remove the stitch marker. Okay, be careful not to lose the last stitch that you have here. I always leave like a big loop like this, and we have to start stuffing. Stuffing the square head is one of the most important aspects as well. I emphasized the decrease, and you can see when I put the head like this that we can see corners. We can also see corners here, but if you stuff it too much, it will get rounded. You'll lose this shape. So the first thing that I do, this head is too small to do that. The first thing that I do is I put some stuffing inside randomly like this, and after I put some stuffing, I start emphasizing the corners. So you take small balls of stuffing and very small balls of stuffing because this amigurumi is tiny, and I also like to use tweezers. There is a video here in the channel where I teach how to stuff the amigurumi correctly. I'll leave the link in the description. It's super important for you to watch this. People underestimate how important stuffing is, and you can reshape your amigurumi with stuffing. You see, I put stuffing here, and now I don't know if it's that clear with the video, but this part is way more accentuated than this side just because I put stuffing there. So wrap the yarn in the way that I teach in the video. If you haven't seen it, you're actually learning how to do it right now. And stuff the corners, okay? Emphasize the corners to keep the shape, and always like reshape it with your hands after you put stuffing inside the amigurumi. Okay, I will keep stuffing it. I'll just accelerate the video here right now because otherwise it will be boring for you to watch, I guess. but just keep that in mind, okay? Okay, so I finished stuffing. It's super cute, isn't it? Oh my god, I'm so proud of this. So let's crochet the last round. And in this last round, we only have to make decreases, okay? Okay, so we make 8 decreases and end up with 8 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the last one. It's so tiny, right? You can't even see sometimes the decrease that I'm doing. So this is the last decrease, and also the last moment for you to put more stuffing in case you feel like you need to. In my case, it's okay, but if you feel like it's still a bit empty, you can use the tweezers, because there is a small hole and you cannot put your fingers. Look at the size of my fingers here. So you can use the tweezers to help you stuff your amigurumi. I will just cut the remaining thread here. And let's close it with an inverted magic ring. So let me take the tapestry needle. And close it with the inverted magic ring. I'm sorry, I assumed that everyone already knows, but in case you don't know how to fasten it off, you only grab like the front loop of the stitch. So I skip the first one, front loop of the next, pass the yarn. Skip this one, front loop of the next, pass the yarn. Of course, there is a tutorial here in the channel where I teach it like very, very slowly, so you can check it. Yeah, it was good already. I insert the crochet hook here, and I leave at any point in my amigurumi. Pull the thread, and it enters the amigurumi. And look how tiny and beautiful our square head is right now. In order to fasten off, you can just cut this yarn because it won't escape, or you can do the invisible knot, which is something that I always like to do just to make sure that this is safe. Okay, and to do the invisible knot, I take any loop next where the yarn is, like this. And I simply tie a knot. This yarn is very good actually, but it keeps splitting. This is the only bad side in it, but the quality of the yarn is very, very good, and it's very smooth. It doesn't hurt my fingers to crochet with it, which is something also important when we crochet, especially for long hours with cotton yarn. And now you cut the remaining thread. If there is something here, you can see like some remaining thread, you just put it inside with the help of the tapestry needle or the tweezers, and you hide it. Okay, good. It looks very beautiful. So now let's continue. So to embroider the nose, what we'll do is we pass the tapestry needle horizontally like this between rounds 10 and 11. with a distance of 2 single crochets. Okay, so I pass the yarn. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm always saying the yarn. I pass the tapestry needle like this. Once. Okay, we pass it twice. So there is one line. We want to create another one. So you pass it again one more time like this. There is another video here in the channel, of course. I created so many videos already. I have to tell you this. But there is, of course, a video where I teach how to embroider this type of nose that I really, really like. Okay, so 2 times you pass it horizontally, and now you will pass vertically like this. So you pass the tapestry needle below the 2 horizontal lines that you created. And how many times you do that? As many as you want to create the volume in the nose, okay? So there is no rule here. For the amount of times that you pass the yarn vertically. And you see that I pass and I keep like adjusting with my fingers, my nails. And you do that to create this volume in the nose. Okay, so I already have the volume that I want. So now I will use this technique here, which is pass the yarn, the tapestry needle with the yarn to any point in your amigurumi, like this. It could be here, on the side, it doesn't matter where it is. Cut the yarn that you started. I still haven't removed the label from my scissors. Sorry for that. I will do that when I finish recording. And now you pass the yarn exactly to the same gap, the same hole where the other remaining thread is. Like this, very simple. And what you do, tie a knot. I like to keep it tight, so you tie a knot. Put the knot inside with the help of the tweezers, and you cut the remaining thread. Simple, right? You can do the same that we did before with the tapestry needle or the tweezers. The other time I did with the tapestry needle, so now I will hide with the tweezers so you can see how I do it. And that's it. Very cute, right? To make the face even cuter, I take the pink yarn and I'll pass here, like using I will use 2 single crochets right below the eyes. You see, just to make like a blush. Just a detail to make it even prettier. And you can use the same technique that we just did right now to fasten it off. And that's it. I embroidered the blush. It looks cute. So now let's crochet the ears. And yeah, this will be the last part of the amigurumi. So now for the last part, I already have one ear here. Let's crochet the other together. We start with 3 chains, so let's make it together. I have 1, 2, 3 chains, and from the second chain you make 2 single crochets. 1, 2 single crochets. Turn the crochet piece. Some people like to make a chain and turn. In this case, I will not make a chain. I'll just turn the piece, okay? So row, now it's row, not round, force of habit. So the first row, we made 2 single crochets, and now we turn. Second row, row number 2, we make 2 increases. So 1 increase, second increase, turn the crochet piece. Row number 3, you just repeat the sequence. So you make 4 single crochets. Oops, oh, the yarn splits. I hate when it happens. Let me organize it. Okay, sorry for that. As I was saying, now we make 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3. My goodness, my stitches are even tighter here. 4 single crochets. Turn the piece, and this was our row number 3. Row 4, you make 1 increase, okay, so 1 increase, 2 single crochets, and 1 increase again, and we end up with 6 single crochets. Turn the piece, and now row number 5 and 6, we just repeat the sequence, making 6 single crochets in each. Okay, so now row row 5, I make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is so fast that I will crochet with you. Turn, and the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see that it forms like a triangle? 5, and oops, 6. Okay, so we finish. But my recommendation for you is make single crochets around this triangle to make like a perfect finish. Okay, it's very, very beautiful when we do that. If you compare this to this one that I already made, single crochets around the piece looks way prettier. Let me show you. It looks way prettier than this one in the left without the single crochets. So that's what I would do right now. I'll make a chain and simply crochet single crochets around this crochet triangle around the piece. Okay, so I finished the 2 ears, and you can see how beautiful it is. It's way more beautiful now. You see the triangle with the single crochets around. It's way more beautiful like this. So now we will sew this part to the head, the beautiful head that we have. Okay, so again, you take the tapestry needle. Before using the tapestry needle, something that I like doing whenever I have to sew is using pins. I don't like sewing, and I think all crocheters, or almost all crocheters, hate doing it too. So in order to avoid having to sew and it was not good, then you have to do it all over again, I prefer to pin everything first. So let's find the right position. You should place the ears like 3 single crochets apart from the eyes, okay? So 1, 2, 3 is in this line here. I will just put the pins so we know the line that I have to do it. Okay? Let me pin it first. Oops, be careful, because I was not. Okay, look how beautiful it is. And you do the same at the other side. This part where you have the remaining thread, this is the part that should be placed like this, because you will sew it to the head. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. This is the line. Pin it just to make sure that it is in the right position. Take a look at it first. If you're satisfied with the place that it is, now you can sew it. Okay, so I finished sewing and you saw how simple it was, but my recommendation is don't fasten off the first ear yet. Okay, so you finished sewing, okay, pass the thread through like any part of the amigurumi and don't fasten off, because maybe after sewing this one you see that they are not evenly distributed, they are not like in the correct place, and you want to make it again. That's why I think it's so important to use pins at this point. You have one part already placed, so now it's even easier for you to reach the right place with this one, because you can measure like, am I supposed to crochet here? No, it's too close to the eyes. Maybe here. No, it's too much in the back. Where is it? So now you have an idea and you can compare both sides to check where you should do it. Okay? So again, I'll measure, I'll take a look. Okay, it's even. I'll place the pins and start crocheting the next one. So now I crocheted both sides. As you could see, they are in the correct place. I'm satisfied with the result. So now I can fasten off the threads, okay? You can use the same technique that we have already done in the other parts, like the nose and the blush of the amigurumi. I'll make a knot. Put the knot inside with the help of the tapestry needle or the tweezers, for example. And then you cut the remaining thread. And that's it, our baby Yoda is finally finished. But of course, we still have to put the keychain and attach to it. The way that I do it is again very simple. And as you know, I try to keep things as simple as possible. I pass the yarn through the tapestry needle like this, and with the yarn and my tapestry needle, I pass it in this loop, which is like the first or the last one, depends on the point of view, from the keychain. Okay, like this. It doesn't have to be that long, the piece of thread that you will cut. But I have the keychain like this. And now I will pass it like this in the middle of the magic ring where we started our work, okay? You pass the yarn like this, and the other end of the yarn you pass through the same hole that you passed the first one in the magic ring. Like this, okay? Pull the yarn so it's tight in the amigurumi like this. Let me try to focus the camera. You see? And now I will make the invisible knot with these two threads here. I already did the invisible knot with you, so I don't have to demonstrate it right now, but that's how I usually attach the keychain. I make the invisible knot just to make sure this yarn is safe and it won't escape, and this one is pretty tight, so wherever I want to hang my keychain, this won't escape, okay? And that's it. We finally finished our beautiful Baby Yoda keychain. Look how cute and tiny it is. It's very, very tiny. I really hope you liked this tutorial. If you enjoy crocheting it with me, remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. This is a way that you can support me and support my work, so I keep creating videos like this. You can also subscribe to my newsletter to keep updated on the behind the scenes and maybe help me on the next projects to crochet. That's it, guys. Thank you.